All right, welcome to Wealth Cartel, where hindsight's a motherfucker.
Our mission is to stop people saying, I wish I had listened, and to help people capitalise on everyone else's mistakes before making them themselves.
In summary, our tagline says it all: turn our hindsight into your foresight.
So we're just a couple of lads from the west and the central coast who grew up without really any wealth around us and used it to motivate us to make something of ourselves.
Along the way, mainly as we matured, we did a lot of things right, but more importantly, we made a lot of mistakes.
A lot of mistakes that could have been avoided by not being know-it-alls and actually listening to what others had told us instead of thinking, no, not me. So my name's Akko. I'm a small business owner with a bunch of franchises called Pen on Picasso at the moment, with large plans of building a large business portfolio.
I'm Kingy. I'm a financial advisor looking to break the mold on what good advice should look like and start teaching people how to enjoy life to the fullest while also planning for tomorrow out of my business, Three Kings Wealth Management.
Down here at Bella Vista Hotel, guys. Bella Vista Hotel has got a podcast room set up here for everyone to use. It's a great spot, good little setup for us. Nice little backdrop as well, if anyone's seen the backdrop. So, yeah, if it looks familiar to you guys, this is Bella Vista Hotel. Get down.
Get down here. It's got great food, great drinks, great cocktails, a good little atmosphere, not just for the podcast. They come down for the podcast or come down for a feed and check the guys out. Thanks for supporting us.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy the episode.
So just cautious of time here, guys. So I want to get into some of the hindsight stuff. So that's a bit of your story, Jordan. Now I think it's important to understand. You're 25.
Just about 26.
26. So young as, and we want to make it clear to people that we have this conversation in 10 years. Jordan's going to be saying a whole nother different lot of shit. So what we want to talk about today is more so. You're on a good journey. You're on a good track. By no means have any of us, hit our peak or anything like that. So it's sort of, we're taking these people on this journey. And what we want to talk about with the hindsight stuff we're going to go into, we're going to talk about our happiness triangle or our wealth triangle, which we believe the three main factors to being happy or wealthy is balancing money, lifestyle, and health, right? Without any of those three, you can't be truly happy. If you just had heaps of money and none of the other two, you'd be miserable as fuck. So we talk about balancing those three. So we'll get into it now. Keep in mind, with money, it's not financial advice. We're not doing that. We're just talking about you and your experience and some things that you did really well or didn't do really well. So with money, right? If you look back or look at what you're doing now, if you could go back and talk to yourself a little bit? What are some money tips that you think you did well or you didn't do well that you go back and change to try and enhance that a little bit better, or even just your mindset around it?
Just to fast track yourself 5 years.
Yeah, so I spent about 2 years of my life paying off debts from being a dumb 20-year-old buying stupid shit.
Haven't we all?
That's the main thing. I just did a job. I went and bought like a 55, maybe 60,000. This is 5 years ago. $55,000 or $60,000 Audi. Silliest thing I ever did. $1,000 to service it. Could just keep up. I was renting a house at Blue Bay that was costing $1,000 a week, thinking I was the man. I had no money. It was all
Instagram would look great.
Your fucking Insta would have looked good.
Literally. So there was that, then there was credit cards. This is at like 19, 20. And when I started with Matt, like at that point I was earning okay money, but it was all just disappearing.
Well, you would have to be earning money to pay $1,000 a week rent plus finance and out. Imagine if you were smarter with your money. It would have been easy.
I did have a couple of housemates. Expensive. Very expensive.
So you had some housemates. Just fuck me. I mean, looking at that, that's... I reckon too, there's 90% of kids have done that. I've got so many mates, man, that lived in high-rises in Bondi and, went and lived in the Shire above Northies because that was what the fuck it was cool to do, or lived in Coogee and they look back and they go, if you actually did have 3 or 4 housemates and lived in a $1,000 house, you're nearly better off then in those areas than if you lived with 2 people in the West. But I strongly disagree, because when you live in those areas and pay that amount of money and drive the Audis at 18 or 19, the rest of your money is fucking history. It's done.
Dinners, and looking back now, so when I actually started to meet great people, successful people, now look at 20, I'm going, what do I need to do? They're like, get rid of all of that garbage. So I literally started a path for a year to pay that all off. And it took me about maybe a year or a year and a half to pay off $40,000, $50,000 in debts. And that's probably the one thing as a young person you need to really give some thought to. because
don't think
was
what
an
makes you look
anchor
cool
over
right then is the right thing, eh?
Right now, at the moment, so I bought a little car and I just gave it to my sister for her birthday. But at the moment, like I live across the road here in Terrigal, like my apartment's okay. It's not a 3-story house on the beach at Blue Bay. And it cost me half the amount of that. And I drive a Toyota Hilux now. I'm changing my business structure, so I had to get rid of a bit of money anyway, and my accountant told me to. But there's thought around it. It's not just like, I'm buying this, I'm buying that, I'm buying that. It's
Purpose.
like,
It's all purpose.
There's purpose.
Conscious spending. There we go. There it is again.
Yeah.
Another episode, another conscious spending. Fuck, I love this shit.
So that cost me a lot of money. So looking back as a young person, I just give some thought around why you're spending it. Do you need to spend it? And like, what's the implications of that? Because once you do it, that's it. Anchor, sinking, striking you back. So I'd be way further ahead if I didn't do that.
But it's a pretty small price to pay for the lesson you learned so early on. That's the positive, right? People always, I hate when people do that and then they hang on it for 10 years. Oh, if I didn't get that car, I'd be so, no, you wouldn't. Fuck off. There's heaps more things you've done wrong in that. But the fact that you learnt from that quickly is a huge positive. And it's almost worth it.
I reckon both of you can go fuck yourselves. Audis are nice to drive anyway.
Yeah, you can go broke driving yours. I love your car. If you do go broke from it, I'll give you a heaps good price on it. Half price.
Me and my missus just bought a new Q7, Jordan. But I agree. If I had done that at 20 and not now, when I've learned my lessons, big trouble now.
Now, and you've got to get rid of a bit of money, otherwise you're paid in tax anyway. But at 20, when you've got you literally got nothing, like you're
buying it for no reason. Yeah, you're doing it for no reason.
No reason.
I agree. That's a fun, good one.
Feels good. It's not a wankery car like at the moment for around here, because real estate agents, like if you turn up in a Ferrari, people are just like, forget about it. And like it's well under my means. So the amount of money that I can save every month is like, I'll probably save 70% of my wage.
Yeah.
Or what I earn. That's a lot, like for most people. Like, most people can barely just save. And that's because I don't spend a lot of money.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so that's a good one. It's a good point. I like that. I love when that conscious spending comes up, because that's a big thing. Because it's all about, I don't give a shit what people spend their money on, but don't be spending money that you've got on things that aren't at the top of your priority list, you know? Like
if you look at property now, if I bought a property when I was 20, so property here's doubled in 6 years. Let's say that 50 grand I spent on that stuff I put into a house and it was 400,000. I would have had $400,000 in a property right now.
Yeah.
I would have $400,000 of equity to be swinging around out there into the marketplace. Like that was, and that's in the face.
I was lucky. I bought one in Budgie Boy 7.5 years ago.
Yeah.
On Scenic Drive, just a little fibro thing, and that's worth double, and it's unencumbered. So I love it. But that's what I mean. I'm quite lucky, very, very lucky that I had a bit of a brain at that age to do those types of things. But I was a bit different. I was sort of what you done at 19, 20, I done at 17, 18. I was the same. I lived by myself. Fuck me, man. I spent the amount of money I spent on. Fucking hell. I sometimes wonder. I don't dwell on it, but I sometimes wonder if I could give to my son the knowledge that I didn't have then, the potential that he's got, and that's essentially what the Wells Cartel is about. Like, if you can give an 18-year-old kid your knowledge and say, if you do this, or if you just listen to half of what I'm telling you to do, and you don't make 50% of the mistakes I made, the world's your oyster. And if you can literally give that to 100 different kids, and one of them might grasp something. If one grasps something, then you've gone all right. You know what I mean?
100%. All right, let's move on to the next one. Health. So you're still in your prime. You're still coming to your peak, Jordan, for health wise. And us older fellas, we're starting to get those injuries that we feel. But we've all done, 17, 18, 19. You do some shit.
Obesity is not an injury, bro.
Huh?
Obesity is not an injury.
Oh, talk to yourself.
It's a fucking disease. It's not an injury.
You're a fuckwit. So health-wise, what are some tips? What did you do? You sound like you got a good routine around your health, and you talked about eating well before. Passing back to yourself, what's some things that you would tell yourself to balance that health perspective, and maybe your mindset around that as well? From both a physical and a mental perspective.
Yeah. I think I could work on the mental side a little bit. Like, I think physical, I'm pretty good. Like, I'm pretty consistent. I get up at 4, I train at 4:30 down there. I don't cook. I can't cook. So I get my meals made for me.
Who do you use? Do you use TikTok or?
I just have a chef that used to do it for me and just get delivered. And I'd just be in the office and at home. But now I get them like Muscle Chef meals and I just eat oats for breakfast. So I know that it's good food. And then every now and then I'll just go out for dinner here and there. So my diet, I don't really follow a diet, but I seem to eat well most of the time. And I just consistently train. I could probably train better. Like, to be honest, somebody would probably be like, "Yeah, you're doing that wrong. Or you're doing this wrong." But I still do go there every day. And train and like give it my best shot for an hour.
So what is it about the mental side of things that you reckon you could do a little better? Do you mean on a sense where you feel like there probably are still some things you struggle with on a mental health perspective, or is it more so just in today's society because there's a lot of it's a focal point. Mental health is a focal point in today's society. It didn't exist 10 years ago, and today it's a big thing. And one thing that we speak about and have spoken about quite often, Ryan speaks about it quite well, is that people generally hear mental health and they think it's an issue. When you hear health, it can either be good health or bad health, right? Where when you hear mental health, it must just mean problem. It never means, you know what I mean? If you're talking about someone's mental health, they must have something wrong with them. And we talk quite a bit. We've spoken quite a bit about the fact that going and seeing a psychologist. We don't like to use the word psychologist because it's frowned upon. Everyone sees that as a bad thing. But my wife and I, we went and seen a therapist. The therapist pretty much, had a little chat with us. Our conversation based off of that was, she was essentially like a footy trainer. So if you're playing footy, you train to become better. If you're a businessman, you have a business coach to become better. Essentially a therapist is just a mental health trainer. She trains you for those things. Is that something you believe in, or have you experienced? Or
I think with high performance, like, your mental health is probably the most important thing. I think like a lot of people get caught like, oh, my mental health is bad, or mental health is this. Like, life's hard. Like, you're going to go through bad times, but if you're not training, eating healthy, being surrounded by positive people, getting fresh air, going in the sun, doing things you like, then like, you're not giving your brain a good enough shot to even be in a great mindset. But like, I think real estate, and I'm sure there's a lot of other careers, it's a very emotional process, because you've got divorces, deceased estates, marriage breakups, all this sort of stuff. And you times that over by performing at a level that's most of the time far above anybody else. There's so many equations going through your brain. So I try not to take things home, but you almost can't sometimes. And it's like very, like I don't feel tired in my body most of the time, but in my brain, like sometimes I'll just sit in the shower, in a cold shower, just like in silence for an hour in the dark, like trying to just get
rid of the fog
off my brain. But I reckon a lot of people would feel like that, but it's all them things that I said in the beginning. I just don't know enough about it to comment. I don't. I'd love for somebody to help me train my mind.
But I think one of the best things you just mentioned, we always come back to this, but and you've just said it again, and this is why I'm jumping on it, is because we want to make sure people pick these points. One of the hardest part about mental health is being conscious of it. And that's a good start for you, man. Like, you're young and you're conscious of the moments when it's bad. And I think that's probably one of the biggest problems is people, they try and suppress it. And then that's when it becomes an issue. Whether you know how to deal with it or not, or think the first part is understanding what the signs are and realizing when it's an issue or when it's building up. And you seem to be doing that, which is really good,
I love the fact that you've turned around and said you don't know enough about it to comment, because a lot of people generally are going to have their say regardless of what they know or not. I like that you're honest about that and you feel like you haven't dealt with enough of that to comment. But in a sense, man, you're probably going to be up against it. You might just be one of those people that handles it really well, and that's why you don't feel you know enough. And I feel like maybe you don't give yourself enough credit in that sense, because generally people performing at a high rate, they are, like you said, they are up against it more than others. It's just a means of understanding when you're having a good day, when you're having a bad day, and what that means. And to me, people who go through mental health issues, they can't pinpoint where that started or the trigger. And a lot of us that are managing these, that can manage what's going on in our mind and can manage this mental health better, we understand the trigger. We understand what it is that's made us upset. You know, for your instance, it might be a divorce. It might be one of those things where you are dealing with two people you've got to know, you understand them, you like them, and you're now experiencing their angst and their heartache, but you understand that that's your trigger. So you might be able to deal with that mentally better than a lot of people, because some people go, oh, that's not affecting me when they leave, and they don't understand that they're taking that home with them. It is affecting them. That's the biggest issue, I believe, in the world at the moment, is so many people are in denial about what's going on around them and what affects them.
And this as well, like this has opened up mental health more than anything. Like you could like I see this the other day. Gary Vee's like, spread love and happiness. Someone's like, fuck you, Gary. What? How does that even make sense?
Yeah.
Like, that's the world at the moment. Like you literally can't, like, let's spread love and happiness, and that's people's response. Like,
oh, how good a human being.
Something to send you mental.
This is why after work I just turn my phone off and hang up my dog. Heaps easier.
Young kids.
It's fucking better, eh? Dogs are good.
Yeah. I love puppies.
Yeah, they're the best. All right, so that's good, mate. I like that. Last one that I think, you've got a lot of lifestyle to go, and I think this conversation be brewing in another 10 years when, you've hustled to the point where you can enjoy, right now you're in that accumulation phase, which is important.
This is my forte, Jordan.
Yeah. So lifestyle, too much of it. So, but I think in 10 years are really important where, I'd love to have this chat again in 10 years with you where we can go back and go, that hard work, how did it pay off, etc. But you are a good example already. You've identified that you probably lived it up a little bit too much on some things that weren't important and reeled it in, and now you're sort of taking that back. But give us your point on looking back lifestyle-wise, because it is important, right? We all know that we could die tomorrow. There's no point saving 70% of your income and living on noodles if you died tomorrow and didn't get to enjoy it, right? But the other part is that you enjoy what you do every day. So that's a big part of your lifestyle. So talk to us a bit about lifestyle, some things looking back that you change or keep doing or that you tell yourself around that.
I think lifestyle is almost one of the most important things, because without that, I don't feel energized. Like I work from the moment I open my, people say, oh, when do you work? I say from the moment I open my eyes to the moment I close them. But there's things that give me energy.
Work never stops, eh?
There's things that give me energy. Like every Thursday night, I have family night dinners with my family, and my team knows, don't call Jordan. Like I'm present with my family every Thursday. It's as simple as that. From 5:30 till 7:30, I will not answer my phone. I'll look at it. I'll play with my brother's baby. I'll be present with my nan, and that gives me energy. And then I work in a few different things here and there. Golf one morning during the week. It's the same thing every week, and it's at the same time, and everybody knows that that's when it's going to happen. Because I feel like if you start running so fast and neglecting your family, I did it. I actually left my nan's house one night and laid in bed. She said to me, she never says anything. She said, do you not love me anymore, or something? I never see you. I literally cried like the whole night. Like wow, like what have I become? Like I lost track of everything that was happening.
Yeah.
Trying to chase what? Nothing really. Like I love my job, but what do we do it for? Family? Like to have a good lifestyle. Without it, there's no real point of doing it anyway. So I had a real good temperature check about a year and a half ago, and there's just non-negotiables in my week now with friends, with like just started playing golf. I'm terrible at it, but I'm working on it. But
I'll come up for a round. I'll show you a few things.
Yeah, because everybody plays golf. So like it's too embarrassing to go to a client. Let's have a golf day, and you're just shanking it left and right. And no,
Bro, you just gotta get jacked, right? and then off the first tee, you just bomb like a 300-meter drive, and then they just go fuck, and then you go, oh shit, I've got another meeting I've got to get to, I've got to go, and you don't show your short game. Don't show your short game.
Just get jacked up now, Jordan, and just pretend to people, I used to be able to play, but my shoulders are a bit, I can't get around. That's what his excuse is. Oh, I used to be able to play off 3, but now I just can't get my shoulders around.
Fuck off! I'm playing good. I got another round this weekend. I'm 5 weeks consistent now, and I am.
You're right at golf?
Yeah, I've been playing since I was about 7.
What are you playing off now?
Right now, I'm off about 15, but I've got a new swing. So I've been working with my pro, and I've got a new swing. So I'm shooting about 5 or 6 over what I should be. So I reckon in the next couple of months.
So you're off 21. You're shit.
No, I'm off 15 with the swing. So I reckon by the end of the year, by the end of this year, I could get close to single figures in this month.
My mate's playing off 6 at the moment. He's good. He's been like 6 out to 9s, back into 4s, and he FaceTimed me Saturday. He got a hole in one off the second hole. Playing comp, gets a hole in one. Right? I'm like, yeah, fucking mad. Fucking caught. Oh, is it 2 in a day? Second and the 17th, 2 holes in one, same day, playing off 6. Never had an even par in his life. Gets 2 holes in ones, even par on the same day. Fuck. I'm never playing golf again. I can't do that. How are you supposed to be that?
Yeah, you just got to enjoy it. It's like anything else. Just enjoy it. Golf's a great lesson for people around, same as fighting, right? Like fighting and golf, great for the mental health, like overcoming challenges throughout the round. Like that's what I've really been enjoying about it lately is like, because I've got the ability, like I'll go around 1 over for the front 9, and then I'll have like a triple or something. You know what I mean? Like I've got the ability to play really well. I just have the consistency. And what I've really started enjoying, I think it's like my 7th or 8th week in a row I played this week. First time in years I've played this consistent. Is I'm just enjoying that mental aspect. Is playing like I could.
It's not a team sport, eh? It's just a battle against yourself.
It's you, man. Like and we played 4 weeks at Club Champs, which is 4 weeks of stroke. And off the back markers and stuff. And that's where I really started to get back into it was it wasn't stable for it. So you couldn't just pick up and try next hole. Like every stroke counted, and you shank something, you have to pull it together. And I love it, man. That's what's really got me frothing. It's helped me day to day. I
really feel like going and playing golf now, eh?
We can all have a game.
Do you want to play tomorrow, Dan? I'll go for a round tomorrow.
Nah, I can't. I'm open in Liverpool Saturday, man. I'm fucking...
Always. Yeah, I want to play golf. You want to go for a round? Oh, I've got this and that. I've got 7 kids.
I'm the busiest bloke in Sydney at the moment, man.
You're not.
I'm literally in the car park in Liverpool. Come on, bro. I'm in a car park. I'm sitting out the front of NRMA in Liverpool, and then I've got to get off this meeting. I've got to go meet my mural guy. He's painting my mural at Liverpool. I'm then doing.
By that he means a graffiti artist that's just hanging around Liverpool tagging trains. That's what he's meeting.
That's what I do, but then I've got my flyers and that today, and now I'm a bit inspired about these door knocking stories. So I'm going to go fucking do some fly drops today as well, and then I've got to get back out here for my sign guy in the morning. I've got. It's not even this floor.
Oh, this is Jordan's podcast, not yours,
bro. Yeah, you see, that's why he's 120 kilos because he's got no friends. He just sits and eats at home by himself all the time.
All right, Jordan. Let's wrap it up. So last one, mate. So if you could summarize in like a sentence, going back to yourself after everything we've talked about, if you go back to your 17, 18-year-old self and in sort of one sentence summarize, maybe a quote or, something that you'd live your life by that you'd be proud of, what would it be?
If I could say something to my 20-year-old self, I would say to myself, look into your heart and find out what you want to do and what you love. It might not be exactly what you want to do forever, but find whoever's the best in the area that is doing the thing that you want to do, become a part of it, work for free, do whatever it takes. Don't get caught up in looking flashy because of the people around you, and just keep your head down and work as hard as possible, and you will find success.
Beautiful. Love that. Love
it too, man.
All right. You've gone through the hard yards, mate. You've answered our questions. So let's give yourself a little plug. Tell us, what you're doing now. Who do you want to connect with from a client perspective or from a business perspective? Who can you help? Who can help you? And what's next for the big fella?
I love connecting with everybody, to be honest. I've heard some of the best things from people you just wouldn't expect. Like, I meet people that blow off the thing here. great people, the whole way to billionaires that are doing huge developments around here. So I want to connect with everybody, but I'm interested in building wealth. Obviously, I always ask people, what do I do with my money? Because I'm interested to know. I feel like everybody's done or created wealth in their own ways, like found their own strength. So that fascinates me. There's actually a book called My First Million, and it's like 1,000 pages of people explaining how they made their first million. So if anybody wants to read that, it's the best book ever. So I'm just fascinated.
Look at that, actually. I'm keen on that.
My First Million. You wouldn't believe it. It's out of control, the ways that some people made $1 million. But I'm just interested to hear about people and their journey and obviously building wealth. But I like surrounding myself with like-minded people, but even young, successful people or young people that are coming up. Like I like to bounce things around with them sort of people.
Is that a shot at us about being old, Jordan?
No. How old are you?
I'm 31, man. I'm 31.
30, a couple of years old.
32 in March. Ryan's only 28, so we're 29. So we're not that old. I fucking definitely feel old.
In the scheme of life, you're not far ahead of me.
No, we're good to go. We've got heaps of time. Jordan, I would say if you want to build wealth, I don't know if you know him or not, but one of my good mates, Ryan Baldertude, is probably one of the best wealth advisors around, and he's on the coast. I know you got an accountant. He does business strategy and financial advice. If you're looking for someone to partner on that front, I would highly recommend him. From a business perspective, but I'm not going to step on your toes and you use who you want to use. But he would be my
I'm open to listening to everybody.
Mate, he's a gun. He works with the boys at Next Gen. He helps them build their business. G6 Fitness. He's a gun on that front. I refer. So I'm from the coast originally myself, but I don't look after a lot of people up there anymore. So I refer a lot of people onto him. He's very, very good. He's got a very good mind for strategizing and building wealth in line with what you like to do, you know?
Unreal.
Hey, Jordan, have you been to this new restaurant in the entrance yet? Plato a Ploma?
No.
New Mexican?
Is it yours?
Get out of Nah, it's not. It's a mate of mine. It's a mate of mine's, but I'm trying to palm it on. We're trying to tee up with them to do a collaboration with Pino and Picasso at the moment there at the entrance. But it just looks sick. So if you get a chance, head down there. I don't know. I think it's along the boardwalk somewhere there.
Yeah, it's right on that corner. Right on that corner where the pumpkins get fed.
It's got like the Mexican themed spray paint on it on the side of it. It's Zach Ladeus and Roaches. James Roach.
I know where it is. It's a good spot down there on the wharf.
Yeah, it's right near where the.
So they've just opened it. They just managed to get their liquor license sorted. I'm hanging to get up there, to be fair. Hey, fuck, it looks good. It'll be a good spot. Knowing the boys, like they would have put something together cracker for that spot.
Yeah. It's screaming out for something like that down there.
Yeah, 100%. Mate,
thank you. Well, Milky Lane, Terrigal's about to go up too. See that?
That will absolutely destroy.
Crack. It will. The dude who owns that, Christian Avant, he used to own the DFBs in Sydney, Dirty Funkin' Beach, which was like a boat cruise in Sydney. Where I'm trying to work with him at the moment to get like a brand collab, Pinot with Milky Lane. I reckon it'll be sick.
Yeah, it'll be thrown into the perfect marketplace.
100%. Jordan, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate it. Keep doing good things, and we'll drop this next week in 2 parts. We'll share it on the socials and we'll give you a tag. Make sure if you're on the coast and you just want some inspiration, follow the big fella and get around his brand. And we look forward to collaborating with you in the future, my man.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Sweet, stay in touch. We'll hit. We'll go for a hit.
I will. Let's do it. Hey, fellas. Bye.